Alrighty, romanticide for game 3. Let's see if Nitro can stop the rot and get a game on the board here. So it is I've done it wrong. It is ICRedd that's 2-0 up. I'm still not sure what we're playing here. Yeah. So ICRedd 2-0 up with some fairly cheesy plays, really. Cannon Rush in the first game, and Proxy Robo in the second game. Sorry, I've just eaten a whole bunch of crisps, and I've got like teeth full of crisps. I had to wet before I started the cast, because the little mic on, if I was just crunching crisps, that would make for pretty grim casting. I'm not sure that me picking crisps out of my teeth is making for any better casting, so I do apologise. Normal service will be resumed presently, I promise. Okay, so Nitro coming across the map here to do a little bit of scouting, presumably. Checks the natural, nothing there. It is still very early, so wouldn't expect a Nexus just yet. Gonna have a quick look around, sees the second gas coming in. That's reasonably early, but a lot of Protoss just go 2 gas off the bat. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Double gas before Sidecore though, yeah, sometimes a little early, but I don't think that's indicative of anything in particular. This worker's going to get nibbled, zapped, or whatever. Sorry, little probe. It looks like Nitro stopped caring about you. Oh no, you're back in action. The Nexus for Nitro comes down first, but other than that, the production tabs look pretty similar. It's single get Sidecore with a second gateway coming down for ICRedd instead of the Natch. So maybe he is going to be looking to put on a bit of pressure. Has he done any scouting yet? He hasn't yet, so maybe that's just a safety gateway. Now that his worker is across the map, maybe he's going to come in here and have a bit of a look around. Maybe he's just going to continue to try and nibble this one. I'm not really sure. Oh no, run, little word, he's going to get you. Oh no, what is this? So having nibbled, surely ICRedd's going to come in and have a look around. No, it doesn't even get the look around. That is actually pretty shocking worker micro on both sides of the map, really. Okay. Stargate coming up for ICRedd and is just bringing in a couple of adepts. So I wouldn't mind saying head the adepts across the map, chrono that oracle across, get it in round the back, while you're distracting with the adepts. It's a pretty standard play, and it's not a bad play. So we'll see if we can get anything done here. I don't see an oracle in production yet. The Stargate's finished up, but there's nothing building from it. And Nitro also building his own Stargate. At present, it's really just these 2 adepts that are out on the map, and ICRedd starts up the oracle now, but it's a little bit later than planned. And if Nitro catches a whiff of this, if he knows it's coming, he'll have plenty of time to prep for it. So these 2 adepts doing pretty well. There's no pull on the workers, and this is a little awkward. The 2 adepts are just going to kill loads of workers. Come on down with that stalker and have at these pair. You don't want these guys killing that many workers. That's a bit ugly, to be honest. And they're going to get in, and they're going to kill even more. That's out of range of the battery stuff, so there's going to be a couple more going down. No shed out, but that was actually a lot of dead workers for 2 adepts. Whoa, man! I know there was 1 initially, but that's like 11 workers for 2 adepts. That shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. You need to run the workers away from those adepts, or do whatever you need. You had a stalker in the mix as well. The 2 oracles are going to pass each other. ICRedd's is kind of in position first. There isn't really anything here to kill though, because the adepts have already killed it all. The shield battery here is absolutely full of energy, so the Oracle's going to have a hard time getting anything done there as well. There's no shield battery here though, so Nitro could get in and have a good time. The Void Ray is going to be able to chase this away. Nitro actually decides to go for, oh, beauty. Goes for the time warp, the time bomb instead, stasis trap, and catches everything. So, you know, that is a lot of lost mining time. Look how many workers there are frozen there. Roughly 3 million. So that's actually worked out really, really well. That's a big dent in the income for ICRedd. And look, these workers actually still idle. He hasn't realized that they are doing nothing. So income-wise, at present, that that ain't gonna look too cool, is it? It's a pretty big difference there. Everything mining away here, and I think the Oracle's going to come around and do something similar. Meanwhile, this Oracle for ICRedd has... Oh, he did it too, did he? Oh my goodness, seriously, I should really pay more attention to what's going on. Oh, look at this. Both players trading blows. This I understand because... you know, when the shield battery's there, you can't really get... it's very hard to kill the workers when there's a shield battery. This is inexcusable, this right here. It's hard to kill the workers when there's a shield battery, so the stasis trap's a really good option. Without the shield battery, I don't know, it's a tricky one. It's a tough one to call. I think I prefer killing the workers. I don't know. I think I prefer it. Just get them dead and then they're permanently dead, although these guys might as well be permanently dead. Same thing's going on the other side of the map. Both of these players just with huge numbers of idle workers and doing nothing about it. ICRedd, how's your income right now? Toilety. Very toilety. Yeah, I mean, look at that. He's only actually got, what, 5 workers mining minerals. Miserable. Meanwhile, over here, Nitro's got his workers going back to work. ICRedd still hasn't. Not looking so good. Wouldn't mind seeing, you know, he's got a Stargate. Like, just pop the Phoenix out and get rid of this if it's worrying you that much. These Stalkers looking alright. There's several Void Rays on the go here. ICRedd does like a Void Ray. I mean, kind of hate Void Rays. They're miserable units, aren't they? But you know, with the speed upgrade these days, they're stupid fast. They're as fast as Stim Marines, so you can't actually catch speed Void Rays with Stim Marines anymore, which, to be honest, I feel is a bit broken. I don't like it. I feel like as when you're playing Terran, you should be able to stim under the Void Rays. Not being able to get them when your Marines are stimmed is just a bit rude. But that's how fast they go. So I can see why people build them now. The Oracle's coming in here. It's not being microed at all, so it is just kind of going for the long kill on each of those workers. But that's okay. I don't mind that at this level. You can speed up the rate at which an Oracle kills stuff. You basically use the same technique as stutter stepping. You've got to be a bit careful because you need the Oracle to retarget the same worker. So if you've got the mouse skills for it, what you're kind of doing is pressing stop, clicking a worker, stop, click, stop, click, stop, click, stop, click, so that it retargets the same worker, and it actually kills them much quicker because it's a long animation and it does most of its damage in the opening burst. So. Yeah, it's not that big a deal. So if I look at the workers killed tab, it's heavily in favor of ICRedd still, but that Oracle does go down. You can see 6 kills for Nitro's Oracle, but with the good stasis trap that he did and the really long time that the workers spent idle after that, it's hard to tell who's done the most economic damage to the other. In either event, it's Nitro with the slightly faster third, not saturated obviously just yet, but we'd still expect an income advantage for him coming from that, if not immediately, fairly quickly. So a slight income advantage at present. ICRedd has no oversaturation here, so even when this finishes up, it's not like he's ready to transfer workers to it. Yeah, so Void Ray's coming out for Nitro as well. He's got the Stalker support here, so at present, if he takes a good engagement, he can definitely win this fight. There are upgrades coming. Both players have +1 for these. You don't, like, what is this guy doing? But like, it's a bit wasteful, isn't it? You know, a Void Ray is not a cheap unit, and they've got a longish build time. And you've given away the fact that you've got Void Rays too. So, I'd rather not see stuff like that happening. Let's take a quick look in the units tab. It is 12 Void Rays currently for ICRedd, and only 2 for Nitro. That doesn't look like 12. Is that 12? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tell you what. No, it isn't. So you must have some stashed somewhere. Okay. Yeah, 3 at a time coming out for Nitro, though, you would think. But with the Stalkers, certainly with the help of a shield battery as well, this is a fight that he can win. But ICRedd decided to bail out, and that's probably not a bad plan. So, what do you do if you're ICRedd? You've got probably a Void Ray number advantage, so you could press that. Now that you're up on 3 bases, you can definitely afford production off more than 2 Stargates. There are carriers coming in, and carriers are pretty good. Void Rays don't do badly against carriers. Your carriers don't splash in any way, and Void Rays clump. So actually Void Rays are all right against the carriers, and they focused on the interceptors reasonably quickly, and they can focus on the carriers themselves reasonably quickly, and of course they're faster units. Tempests are all right in this scenario as well. Obviously they outrange everything in the air, so Void Rays find it difficult to run from Tempests because of that massive range, even though the Tempests are very slow. On the flip side of that, it's easy for the Void Rays to catch the Tempests if the numbers are there. So, Carriers, again, a fairly miserable unit, the Carrier, isn't it? Let's see what comes out of the Warp Prism. Nice for a little bit of harass to happen with ground units as well. You tend to end up with this massive imbalance when you're trying to build things like Carriers. Because you don't have the gas, but you have got the mineral income. So you might as well spend it on Zealots. Killing a pylon is not what I would have gone for. This is quite a few Zealots, and I would have probably preferred trying to focus on the Nexus. You might not have got it. It would kind of depend on the reaction times of your opponent, but so you probably wouldn't have got it actually. But I'm not sure that I want to swap 2 pylons for that many Zealots. Maybe a warp in over here and into the mineral line might have been the better choice. Several workers just kind of parked here for Nitro. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what they're doing, but anyway. So both players fleet beaconing at a furious rate. And so this is going to come down to, well, a numbers game really, but more than that, what it should come down to is what you've got on the ground. Like in the air, carriers, Void Rays against each other. Yeah, in theory, upgrades can play a big part. +1 attack for the carriers and +2, +3 attack for the carriers is awesome because the little interceptors are doing all sorts of damage. But really it should come down to a numbers game. So what it tends to turn out to be is what have you got supporting it on the ground? And the standard thing is Archons, Templars and Archons. You have a couple of Templars underneath your fleet for throwing out the storms, especially if your opponent's Void Ray heavy. Storms are great because Void Rays clump like a mofo. So throwing out a few storms is always a good thing. I don't know about sacrificing these Stalkers. I'm assuming that is what he's doing here because they're just walking to their doom, and they're going to achieve absolutely nothing. They don't even get the prism. And I don't know about that. That seemed incredibly wasteful. Those Stalkers can really help in the fight. If you've got a blink forward and a focus onto a carrier, maybe they don't snipe the carrier, fair enough. But what they do is they provide a target for the interceptors, and that blink forward pulls the interceptors back while your interceptors are still doing work. So useful in the fight, you know, because yeah, any advantage you can get is good, and it's not like Nitro was at 200 supply and needed to free up the supply. So I don't agree with that move. I don't know what it was about. On 4 bases now, but only 3 stargates still. So, oh no, these are gateways in production. I'd love to see Twilight console to get. Look, no gas being mined here. That's definitely a mistake. So he's going to really struggle to keep up with production with so little gas coming in. I'd really like to see the Twilight console, A, so that you can get charge for zealots, so that you can dump your minerals into zealots, and B, so that you can then get some Templars out. The fleet will respond to this eventually, and hopefully this time actually clean up the warp prism. I'm not sure why there's 3 oracles on the map here. Please go and kill the warp prism. No. Okay. In a weird way, that zealot push has actually helped Nitro, because this base was oversaturated, but there was nothing mining in this gas, and having killed a small number of the workers, that's brought his attention to, and now he's mining the gas from there. So in an almost surreal way, Nitro's doing better now than he was before. These time bombs could prove really useful. The void rays are faster than the carriers, and if the void rays go into the freeze trap, that is the perfect time to spring your attack onto the carriers. The other thing that can happen if the interceptors from the carriers go into the freeze trap. Freeze traps, what, they don't work against air? That is literally news to me. Well, there you go. Just shows you how often I use freeze traps. Never. Anyway, both sides with the Mama ship. I'd be pulling back onto my shield batteries if I was you, Nitro. It looks like just numbers are going to win the day here. The void rays charged up. It's ugly. You know, the shield batteries back here are doing nothing. I don't know why you wouldn't have just pulled back onto them. And look, think of the difference you can make if those stalkers are still in the game as well. They're just, you know, every little thing is helpful here. Doesn't also help that there's some void rays parked over there and stuff. So a bit of a shambles of an engagement, really. Who knew that like freeze traps didn't hit air? Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. Now that I think about it, I've never seen them hit air. No. Anyway, that's it. GG. And I don't know. With all those shield batteries, you know, you pull back to those. It's amazing how much difference they make. Literally incredible. Yeah. But it just came to a numbers game, and it shouldn't really. As I say, if you've got some storms underneath that can make a huge difference. Some Archons underneath it in the cloaking field and stuff make a huge difference because they do splash damage to the carrier interceptors, and those types of things. Those types of things can help a lot. The other thing that helps a lot when you've got that gas to mineral imbalance because you're building air, it's just to be firing charge lots into your opponent's base left and right and just whittling down his gas income. You know, sniping extractors, sniping workers, sniping nexuses for free for minerals. All right, GG.